Welcome back, Patrick Davey, starting us off on this Thursday midday. Welcome back to the show, Patrick. How are you?
Thank you. Excellent.
Good. We're talking about being safe on the job, especially when you work alone in retail. A lot of times people do work alone on the job in retail.
And you know, those people that work alone, especially at night, are more vulnerable to accidents and acts of violence, of course, than when they're working with a coworker. That's why employers really have to look at instituting some controls to I guess, eliminate or mitigate those risks.
So it's not illegal to have somebody working alone on the job at night?
Not at all, but it's about controls.
Yes.
And how do we minimize the risk.
Okay, let's talk about those controls.
There's lots of controls, and there's lots of different people. I think people get confused a little bit about people working alone. We're not just talking about people working in remote areas, loggers, ranchers, that type of thing. A lot of times it's retail workers.
And so we have this picture, which is something I would not want to have happen to me if I was working alone, say at 7-Eleven or whatever, and somebody comes in a dark outfit. That would be unnerving.
So, you know, it's being prepared is about what you're going to do. And first of all, when you're looking at situations, a workplace and that, do a risk assessment. What are the hazards that are going to be facing those people that have to work alone? Identifying those hazards. Use the workers too, because they're the people at risk. They're going to know about a lot of those hazards. Once you've identified the hazards, it's really rating them, assessing the level of hazard, and so you can prioritize what you have to do right away, what can be done a little later, and putting in controls in place.
Okay. What other tips do you have for employers with staff? Are employers supposed to be helping to put these measures in place?
They're going to have most of the answers available because they're actually living it every day. So putting controls in place, and controls that you're looking at most likely are trying to eliminate any hazards, but when you can't do that, we look at engineering controls. These will be more like, have you ever seen those booths that people that work in gas station attendants at night working? It'll be something like that. It'll be cameras.
Right.
It'll be panic alarms. Now, when we talk about administrative controls, they're more along the work processes.
Right.
So it'll be something like having a person check, somebody that phones in, regular basis. It'll be something like changing the work process, maybe not taking the garbage out at night by yourself, or it may be having a second worker there.
Right. But some employers obviously looking to save money, and if it's not busy, they're going to have just one person there.
And even when we look at not provincially, but even in Kamloops, there's been a lot of incidents of violence at night. And whether it be taxi drivers or people that work in gas stations, I've got probably 5 tips that are probably good for people to follow when you're in situations like that, employers. Again, we talked about a person check. So that's a system where you're phoning the employee at regular intervals to find out how they are. Remember, you've got to have a system in place if you phone them and they're not there or they're in trouble.
Sure.
Making emergency numbers readily available. Try to make eye contact with every customer. That keeps you on top of that. Don't leave back doors unattended, and really don't perform work duties that you know have a higher risk to workers late at night.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because if you're all alone and you get hurt, how are you going to get help?
And that's the main thing. Look at what the risks are and try to put mitigation in place to control or eliminate it.
Okay, fantastic. Any other tips, Patrick? This is good.
Well, I'd like to say that 2017 marks WorkSafe's 100th anniversary.
Is that right?
And although I haven't been here since 1917, I've been here since 1990.
Okay.
And I can tell you that I guess the strides we've made since then is really due to our partnerships with workers, employers, associations, and unions. We've come a long way, got a long way to go, and I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
If you have any questions about this topic, WorkSafe BC has their website on the screen there, worksafebc.com. We're back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.